Hello everyone, how are you doing? Today we will be discussing community pharmacy. First of all, we will be doing the definition and the background. The community pharmacy is defined as the privately held or owned establishment whose function is to serve the society and fulfill the needs of the society by providing the information about the drug product and the pharmaceutical services. It provides the first aid treatment to the specific community in the emerging cases. The pharmaceutical services include oxygen cylinders, nebulizer, drip stands, and ECG techniques. From chain pharmacies, the community pharmacy range from the corporationally owned chain pharmacy to the individually owned pharmaceutical centers that provide the pharmaceutical services plus few lines about the health. Chain pharmacy is important for the delivery for the pharmaceutical services and the products to the public. Chain pharmacies have improved their position in the area of the prescribed drug and the OTC drug, that is over the counter medications. Establishment of the community pharmacy. For the establishment of the new community pharmacy, first of all, pharmacists consider is there any need of the community pharmacy in the society or not. If already a community pharmacy is established, then is it providing or fulfilling the needs of society or not. For community pharmacist has to consider this first of all. Then the pharmacist must consider the following points while establishing a pharmacy, like which type of legal organization should be chosen, what is the specific site should be selected, and is there any necessary capital available for the establishment of the community pharmacy. These are the three parameters which needs to be considered. Organization, the first point. There are three types of the organization: individual or the sole proprietorship, the business which is owned and managed by the single person is called individual or the sole proprietorship. Here the single person enjoy the whole profit and the loss of the business in this except the required license. The sole proprietor may open or close the pharmacy without the legal or government permission or intervention. It is better that the pharmacist should be of the community because he can easily visit the patients at their home if any patient is not able to reach to the community pharmacy. Then the second thing is a partnership, that is second type of the organization. The second type of the organization is a partnership when the resources of the individual are not sufficient to provide the needs for the establishing of community pharmacy, or when the individual does not wish to take the whole risk of the business. In this the responsibilities are distributed or shared among the two or three partners. It provides the way for the individual to do joint business jointly. It couldn't do separate if he couldn't do separately. In this, each partner has a right to give the comment or opinion in the business affairs. Okay, and then written agreement should be drafted and verified, because just in case, like, for the duties and for the responsibilities and the division of profit and losses for the case, to avoid any misunderstanding in the future. Then the third type of the organization is corporation. Corporation is a separate legal entity created by the authority of the state, as it is a legal entity created by the state. So the death of the transfer or owner doesn't affect the corporation existence. Corporation has those powers that are authorized by the state. The corporation performs the federal income tax form, and by calling the individual stockholders pay personal income tax, resulting owner of the corporation to pay the double taxation. That is one of the drawbacks of establishing community as a corporation. In establishing new pharmacy, the owner decides that which form of the legal organization follow, the sole proprietorship or the partnership, or to enter into the big corporation. Then the second parameter is the site selection. After the selection of the organization, then we have an important point: site selection. Which site should be selected where you want to open a community pharmacy? The site selection for the establishment of new pharmacy, certain points should be considered, like the population of the community, income of the population, that whether we get a profit or not, number and the type of the industries in that community already exists, and the climate of the area. Primary emphasis should be on that it should be located in a central to the population. To be served, the pharmacy must provide the easy assessment and adequate parking facilities. These points are considered because to facilitate the population, the people living in this community, so then they can easily reach. The third point, after organization, site selection, and there is a capital requirement to opening a pharmacy, community pharmacy. It means through planning that how much money required to establish a new pharmacy. It includes the cash and then inventory. Cash is a sufficient cash needed to pay the pre-opening expenses like the license fees, utility expenses, deposits, and the advertising expenses. Inventory, it includes the cost of the goods presently available as well as for the annual stock, fixtures, and equipment needed for the new pharmacy. Okay, the next topic we are discussing is the public health and a community pharmacy definition. Starting with the definition, the public health is the study and the practice that what best practice to improve the health of the population rather than the individuals. Another definition was given by the Sir Donald Wilson in 1988 as the science and art of preventing the disease, prolonging the life, and promoting and protecting the and improving the health of the population through the organized effort of the society. This is called public health. Public health. Then there is one other definition. The public health is also defined as it is a system of delivering a comprehensive health care to the community through the trend of medical through trained medical staff. The community pharmacy is for the purpose of improving the public health and securing good health for the whole population. The community pharmacist has a great contribution in the public health by providing the information and support the people on the subject of the medicine and the alternate treatment to the lifestyles. That is, community pharmacist develops the capacity in the management of the chronic conditions. The public health is categorized into three main categories, that is, health protection and disease prevention, health and social care, and health improvement. These are the three, basically prevention, then care, then improvement. These three categories are totally related to the health. In the under the topic of the health protection and disease prevention, we have disease and injury prevention, communicable disease prevention and control, and putting emphasis on the control on communicable diseases and environmental health in this by adopting the hygiene conditions so in the society and emerging planning. In the social care, we have a qualifying clinical effectiveness, efficiency, services planning, and audit and evaluation, and clinical governance. Then, for the improvement, employment, housing, family or community, education, and lifestyle advice. So these are the three domains under which the public health is divided. Then we will move to the next topic, that is the value of the community pharmacy. What is value? Why we need a community pharmacy? Community pharmacy can make the significant contribution for improving the health and resulting and retarding the spread of the diseases in the community. The aim of this work is into the determine that which health improvement activities are most effective in the community pharmacy setting. Key points are the control on smoking, prevention and management of the coronary heart diseases by identifying the risk factors of the cardiac heart diseases, chronic heart diseases, immunization, accidental and injury prevention. Okay, then we have a next topic that is epidemiology. Epidemiology is a Greek word. It is composed of epi means among, and demos means people, and logos means study. Thus, it is a study of the distribution of the disease in the community, city, village, or community. It is also derived from the word epidemic. The definition is scientific study of the distribution and determination of the disease among the society or the community. Initially, it was used only for the communicable diseases, but nowadays it is used generally. Uses of epidemiology to study the history or origin of the diseases, to study the respective role of the agent, host, and environment in the spread of the disease, to study the type of disease prevalent in the community, and to diagnose the health problems and study the occurrence of the distribution of disease by the age, sex, occupation, and the locality to forecast the further future trends of the diseases, that is increase the cholera and in summer and the malaria during the rainy seasons. It will help to take the preventive measurements. Final goal is to study the various aspects of the diseases and suggest the measurement of the eradication of the disease. Factors responsible for the spread of the communicable disease. There are three factors like agent, host, and environment. If any of one these factors is missing, then the disease cannot occur or spread. Agent, what is agent? It is the most important factor for the occurrence of the spread of the disease. It has the following types: biological agents, physical agents, and chemical agents. Biological agents like the bacteria, virus, fungi, protozoa, worms, and insects. And physical agents are the like the extreme of the weathers like the rainy season, summer, high cold, extreme or pressure, etc. Chemical agents are the co-forms dust and may cause the illness by inhalation of the excessive use of the pesticide fertilizer. Mechanical agents are most motor vehicles and machines, etc. Nutritional agents are the carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, vitamins, and mineral water. Excess or deficiency of any of these may cause nutritional diseases. Host, the second agent is a host. Second factor in the spread of the disease is host. Host is that in which the sexual reproduction of the microorganism occurs. It can be a man, animal, or mosquito. Pathogenic microorganism attack the host when its defense power is lost or is decreased. That is, the immunity level is low. Factors related to the host include the age, sex, heredity, nutrition, and habits. Age. Certain diseases like the measles are more common in the childhood, cancer in the middle age, TB in the old age. People are uh, common in the people. Sex, the females are more affected from the cancer than the males, while the males are more affected from the heart attack and hypertensive problem than the female. Genetics, diabetic, and the mental diseases are mostly due to the genetic inheritance. Nutrition, deficiency of the protein may cause Kwashiorkor. Overeating leads to the obesity and diabetes. Habits like smoking may cause lung cancer, etc. It plays a very important role. It is it is in the favor in the health, then it keeps the healthy community. If it is favor in the host or agent, it will cause disease. Example, malaria is common in rainy season, common cold in winter, and pathogenic air pollute water and food, resulting in various intestinal disorders. Then we have a disease transmission, how disease transmits in any community. All communicable diseases are transmitted from one person to another person by the contact. Routes of transmission of the infection through the skin, mucous membrane, like the malaria is spread by biting of the mosquito. AIDS is spread through the mucous membrane. Through GIT, that is ingestion of the infected food may cause the infection of the GIT, like the diarrhea, cholera, and the fever, etc. Through the respiratory tract, inhalation of the contaminated air with the pathogenic microorganism may cause the TB and influenza. And nowadays the best example is the COVID-19, which is also spread through the respiratory tract, the inhalation of the contaminated air. Modes of transmission, there are two modes of direct transmission and indirect transmission. What is direct transmission? It is again subdivided into like direct transmission is direct contact, droplet infection, animal biting, infected air dust, or placental transmission. These are the types of the direct transmission. So we will study them now. Direct contact is some diseases are spread by the direct contact, like shaking hand, kissing, and sexual contact. Example, diarrhea and gonorrhea and AIDS. And that is again we have COVID-19 is also one of the example. Droplet infection, and basically COVID would fall in a droplet infection, but it is again can be classified in direct contact. Okay, like by sneezing, coughing, talking loudly, showering the small droplet which contains many pathogenic microorganisms. So when they inhale by the healthy person may cause infection like the influenza, TB, whooping cough, and pneumonia and other viral infection. Animal biting, like biting of a dog, snake biting, and rabies, etc. Infected dusting during the laughing, sneezing, or the coughing, pathogenic enters into the air or the dust that that the tough the healthy person may cause infection. It may cause a infection in a healthy person. Like example is pneumonia, TB, or tetanus or cholera. Then we have transplantal Transplantal, that is, certain diseases also transmitted from the infected mother to the fetus through the placenta. Example, hepatitis B, rubella virus, and AIDS, etc. Then we have an indirect mode of the transmission. It is also subdivided as vehicle borne, vector borne, and formite borne. Vehicle borne, vector borne, formite borne. What is vehicle borne? The transmission of the infection by the vehicle like the water, milk and food contamination. Diseases spread through the water called waterborne and those by the milk called the milk-borne. The waterborne diseases include the cholera, diarrhea and hepatitis A. Milk-borne diseases are TB, diphtheria and sore throat. Vector-borne, the vector refers to any arthropod like the flies, mosquitoes, rodent, act as an agent. Like mosquitoes cause the malaria, rat cause the plague. Formite borne, any article that is belonging to the infected person, like the clothes, bed sheets, handkerchiefs, or his towel, or may the utensil, maybe the utensils. If you are using them and the disease can be transmitted through them, that is a formite borne. In the TB cases, the utensils, clothes, and beddings, etc., are kept separately to avoid the formite borne transmission. Mode of the prevention of the communicable disease is controlling the source of infection. First and foremost is the controlling the source of infection. Early diagnosis. If the disease is early diagnosis treated, then the chance of the spreading is very less and the authorities are informed to control the disease. Second is isolation. Patient suffering from the communicable disease initially is isolated to reduce the spread of the disease in the public, and then we have the treatment option. Fourth option, proper treatment should be given to the early stages disease to prevent the spread of the disease. And then the second method is blocking the mode of the transmission. We should not be drinking contaminated water or the food by destroying the mosquitoes, flies or the rodents. All formites of the patient should be thoroughly disinfected. Controlling the sexually transmitted disease by using the mechanical contraceptive. And then common terms used in the epidemiology are the infection, the entry and the multiplication of the disease producing agent in or on the body of a man or animal called the infection. Infection may or may not cause the disease. This is important point to remember that uh, like the organism has entered your body, but it may or may not, it has multiplied, but it may or may not cause the diseases. Depends. Infestation is parasitic attack resulting in the reproduction and multiplication of the pathogen in the intestine or on the body surface occurs by the insect biting. This is like the multiplication and reproduction of the parasitic attack only in the intestine or the surface only. Infestation is that. Okay, it's different from the infection. Now infectious any agent which have ability to cause infection diseases under the favorable conditions is called infectious infectious disease infectious agent. Then we have an incubation period. Incubation period is a time interval between the entry of the pathogen into the body host up to the appearance of the first sign of symptoms of the disease, that is incubation period. It is time the the microorganism or the pathogen entered the body and the time when the symptoms appeared. So that is called incubation period. For the COVID-19, it is around 5 to 6 days, I guess. Incidence. What is incidence? The number of the persons suffering from specific disease during the specific period of time. Isolation. Isolation is complete separation of a person suffering from the communicable disease from the contact of the healthy person during the period of the communicability, like spreading of the disease basically. Contact. Any person which remain in association with the infected person or infected article resulting disease produce or disease spread. Contamination. The presence of the infectious agent in or on the surface of the article like clothes, food, water, toys or the floor, etc. That is the contamination. The duration, like for the COVID virus, the duration of the virus survival on the different surfaces is different. So that can cause the like that can cause the contamination time variation. Like after that time, it has no power. Contagious, con- contagious diseases. Any disease which is transmitted by the contact. Example, scabies is a contagious disease. Communicable disease. Any disease which is transmitted from one person to another directly or indirectly through infectious agent. So these are two types. One is contagious, other is communicable. Contagious is transmitted by contact. Mode is contact, and for the communicable, it is transmitted from one person or another a person directly or indirectly by both methods. Okay, so that is a communicable disease. It is very easy to spread, that means. And this contagious is like only contact method is there. Non communicable disease. Any disease which are not communicate which does not spread from one person to another, but it can occur within the patient himself, like hypertension, blindness, or cancer, or these could be the hereditary diseases as well. What is epidemic? Epidemic is sudden outbreak of an infectious disease that spread rapidly through the population, affecting a large number of the population in a very short duration, like COVID-19, which has spread throughout the world. Endemic, when the infection disease is prevalent in the community, within the community. Endemic is within the community. Okay. Formites is those articles or things or belonging other than the food and water, as clothes, utensils that contaminated by the patient and are able to transmit the infection agent to the healthy person. Host is a man or animal which allows the entry of the development of the infectious agent in its body. Intermediate host is that which a sexual life cycle of the parasite takes place, while the definite host is that in which the sexual life cycle of the parasite takes place. That means host could be intermediate or definite. Definite is in which the sexual life cycle of the parasite occurs, and intermediate is one in which the asexual life cycle of the parasite occurs. Notification. What is notification? It is a process of reporting or notifying the disease to the higher authorities, that is health authorities, in order to take control the preventive action against the drug to control the disease. Notifiable diseases, which are like the cholera, malaria, measles, TB, typhoid, and whooping cough. Okay, pandemic. What is pandemic? When an epidemic spreads from one country to another country, or even in the whole world, it is called pandemic. Example: AIDS, cholera, plagues, or COVID-19. Sporadic is when disease occurs at the intervals, and in that time spreads called sporadic. In some cases, it may be beginning of an epidemic. Preventing the health. Preventive health, that is CDC and EPIs. EPI stands for Expanded Program for Immunization, and CDC stands for Centers of the Disease Control. There are at federal level self-financing agencies that include the other agencies to work together for the eradication and the control of the diseases for the benefit of the community. Background of the EPI. What is EPI background? The EPI initial in Pakistan is a pilot project in 1976, which launched at the federal level and nationwide in 1981. Recently, this program is working on the 7 preventable diseases like the polio, neonatal tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis, measles, TB, hepatitis B, and immunization. It is estimated that without the immunization, 1 lakh deaths occurs due to the measles, 70,000 due to neonatal tetanus, and the 20,000 the paralytic cases of the polio occurs in Pakistan each year. Vaccination schedules. The immunization schedule targeted that 1 dose of the BCG, Bacillus calmette-guerini, and 3 doses of OPV, oral polio vaccine, and DPT, diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus vaccine per year. The OPV dose is given at the birth up to 6 months of the age. EPI in 1994 targeted the eradication of the polio in up to end of the 2005. The supplementary dose of vitamin A is given to all the children of age of 6. With the OPV during the second round of the NIDS National Immunization Day. Management of the EPI. Recently, there are 2,649 fixed centers of the EPI. 4,564 are reaching teams available. This program is based on the 2 EPI vaccinators located in each UC, and their performance is monitored by the supervisor. Nowadays, the lady health workers are supporting to the EPI to launch this program. Nowadays, some NGOs also work for the eradication of the diseases. They purchase goods like the syringes. EPI also works to control the communicable and non-communicable diseases, chronic diseases. The clinical laboratories are responsible for early diagnosis purpose. What is CDC? This is abbreviation to the Centers for the Disease Control. The CDC Foundation is an independent non-profit enterprise that forces the effective partnership between the CDC and other to fight the threats to the health and the safety centers. And the safety centers for the disease control and the prevention is the federal agency that helps to protect and improve the health of the public. Since 1995, it has made a direct impact on the public health to make the world a healthy and safer place. It also works to control and prevent the chronic killers like the heart diseases and the cancer. It also helps to safeguard us from the environmental hazards and the vaccine preventable diseases to become the well-being of the population. The CDC assess the state and the local health authorities and other health related organizations in preventing and controlling the diseases, improving the performance of the clinical and the public health laboratories, and improving the occupational safety and the health. It maintains the surveillance of the diseases and the undertakes to the prevent the importance of the diseases. CDC provides the assistance and the control and preventive of the diseases, and survey the immunization status of the population. It develops new methods for the testing and the preventing the communicable and the vector-borne diseases, and conduct a program for the improving the performance of the clinical laboratories. Family planning and the demography. Demography is the scientific study of the human population, mostly concerned with the increase of the population size and distribution of the population. The process of complete counting of all the individuals in a country on the fixed date called the census. Fertility, it is the actual bearing of the child. Woman's fertile age ranges between the 15 to 45, means the reproductive period is of the 30 years. During the period, a woman may give birth to the maximum 15 children. Thus, the total fertility rate, it gives an indication of total number of the children born by a woman during the reproduction age. The difference in the total fertility rate or the fertility is occurred due to the various factors as below. Factors affecting the fertility age at the marriage. It is the age at which the female marries and enters the reproductive life. Initially, it was custom that the average age of the marriage was 13 years women, but nowadays observe that it is not 13 years, but it is between 16 and 18 years. It affects the fertility that if a female marrying before the 18 years can birth to the maximum children, then also married at the age of 20 years. Duration of the married life also affects the fertility rate. Then spacing of the children, the fertility can be decreased by proper spacing of the children. Greater the gap between the children, lower the fertility rate. Education, the fertility are low in the educated family because they are aware about the family welfare and importance of the small family. Economic status, the fertility rate is lower in the higher economic status family. Caste and religion, fertility rate is higher in the Muslims and than Hindus, and among the Hindus, higher caste have the low fertility rates than the lower caste Hindus. Nutrition, poorly feeded society exhibited a high fertility rate, whereas the well feeded society shows the lower fertility rate. Family planning, according to the WHO, family planning is a way of the thinking on the basis of the knowledge and responsible decision of the individual couple to promote health and the welfare of the family and social development. It is a basic human right. The family planning and the birth control are not the same meaning, but it is the important component of the family planning being population. Pharmacists being a member of the health team, aware of the dangerous effect of the increased population, also realize the need to control the population and importance of the family planning. Thus, the population control is a responsibility of the community, while the family planning is a responsibility of the individual couple. Population control is a responsibility of the community, while the family planning is responsibility of individual couple. Family planning objective. Its objective are to know that the increase in the population per year and their control, to observe the birth rate and the death rate ratio, to know the ratio of the male and female, to know the unmarried and married couple ratio, the literate and literate ratio of the society, distribution of the public in the rural and the urban areas, to know the lifestyle, to improve the health of the society and improving the family health. Then we have the consequences of increased population. Economic problems due to the increase of the population, unemployment rate increases, resulting in economical depression, and the health problems due to the increased population. Proper treatment will not be given, and proper attention will not be given, resulting in a spread of the diseases and increase among the society. Food problem due to the increased population, well nutrition will not be received by the family members. Deficiency of food may cause the diseases. Social problems, like the due to the increased population, there is an increased population in the society by using a different vehicles, resulting a social problem are created. Ecological problems, as due to the increase in the population, the maintenance of the housing will be difficult, resulting in a Bangalore becoming a small like a flat residency would increase, and resulting in ecological problems will be issue carried. Then we have a patient assessment. This is a new topic. The patient assessment is done on the availability of the relevant information from the hospitals of the patient itself. Reasons to access the patient. The pharmacist assess the patients to identify the patient with the potential medicine related problems, to know the medication risk factors. In this In this information on the patient and the medication risk factors are recorded in the form of the patient medication profile. The patient assessments are done to provide a good medical and the pharmaceutical facilities to the patient. Sources of the information: prescription. It is the professional judgment to assess the patients on the basis of the prescription. For example, pharmacist gets information by review the past and the current uses of the medication that will be helpful to know the drug interaction. Patient himself, the pharmacist in this, getting the knowledge of directly from the patient by counseling. As in counseling, patients reveal or are encouraged to discuss their signs and symptoms of disease and their therapies. Thus the pharmacist will easily access the patients by taking the interview from the patient. The above two parameters are helpful for the both indoor and outdoor patients. Medical case notes: there are the case notes or the notes history of the patient when he is indoors patient hospitalized. The hospital pharmacist access the patient on the basis of the hospital medical record. The pharmacist take the case history directly from the patient. Medication record, that is also called PMR. It is a record of the patient medication when he or she discharged from the hospital and readmitted in another hospital. The PMR is helpful in the case of the young children or the case where the patient doesn't remember or is confused. The medication history are documented in the form of PMR. The patient assessment, the monitoring is done by the pharmacist that whether the treatment is going on or right direction or not. If necessary, pharmacist contact the prescriber, avoid the possibility of the drug interaction. Drug abuse and misuse. Drug abuse: usage of the drug with or without the prescription for the non-medical purposes or for the self-medication in which the individual take the drug without the need or unwanted reasons. It is called drug abuse. Drug misuse: it is defined as a use of the drugs in that condition for which they are unsuitable or they are given in the improper dosage form. Sometimes like drug misuse is sometimes if you are taking the pain medication for some other purpose, for the pleasure purpose. Drug addiction, periodic drug addiction is a periodic repeatedly consumption of the same drug. Its characteristics include the increase of the desire to take the drug and continue it for well-being. Tendency of the increase the dose, psychic and physical dependence. Patient become the detrimental to the society as well as family. Drug dependence. Drug abuse and misuse. Drug abuse and misuse, as we have just discussed this thing. Then we have a why people use psychoactive drug, because either they want to experience the benefit or enjoy the taste of the drug, or they are aware about the withdrawal effects or symptoms of the drug. Thus the perceived benefit may include the pleasure, feeling, relaxation, increased social attention, change in the person's psycho conditions and psycho condition, physical change. Example: some bodybuilders use the anabolic steroids to make the body and to avoid the withdrawal effects of the specific drug. Risk factors: the risk factors are vary for each depend. They depend upon the incidence and nature of the drug. Examples including the presence of the impurities of the dose or the frequency of the use, route of administration, legal status of drug, and the personality of drug users, and the interactions between the drug use and the lifestyle. Withdrawal effect: the effects appear after the sudden stop of the specific drug on which he or she is dependent. These are two types of the physiological and the physiological and the psychological. They are observed clearly of the after stoppage of the specific drug use. Example: seizures may occur and the alcohol withdrawal effect. Stomach cramps and the influenza type of symptoms appear in the opioid withdrawal patients. The physical withdrawals effect can be severe and short duration, while the physical withdrawal of the heroin may last up to the 7 days. Psychological withdrawal effect: these are the not easily observable, intense emotional effect as unmasking of the grief and altered mood and depression. These are long duration, and relapse may occur because back to relapse can encourage them to start using the drugs again. Harmful effects of the psychoactive drug. The the detrimental effect or drug dependence effects on the individual as well as on the society are categorized as the below. Health problem: they may be related to the wrong method of the administrations, like example by sharing the infected syringes for HIV, hepatitis, because can occur. Thus, the pharmacist preventing these harmful effects in the benefit of the individual as well as society. Social problems. The social problems include the prevention and the damage of the family and the relationship, social deprivation, inability to sustain the employment, and spending income on the drug use. Drug-related criminal activities. In this, individuals not only punished for due to the criminal activities against the drug abuse and misuse of the drugs, but also due to his crimes impact on the society. Thus, the treatment benefit are not only improving the individual health but also improving the society health, making the community a safer place. Legislation, it includes the rules and regulation on the misuse of the drug. Here the pharmacist mostly concerned with the misuse of drug because he or she is person which legally supply the drugs liable for the medical use. According to the Misuse of the Drug 1971 Act, drugs are classified into the three classes as the class A, B, and C. The purpose of this classification of legislation is to put the penalties when they are illegally undertaken in the various activities, the possession of the drugs, supply, import, or export of the drugs. In this, according to the Road Traffic Act, the drivers are required to notify that their driving license in the case when they are not safely driving due to the misuse of the drugs. So, according to the law, they also pay the penalties. Management of the drug dependence. Here we focus especially on the drug dependence. The reasons of this that here pharmacist is the only person which is primarily involved in the treatment of the drug dependence. Drug dependence must be kept in the holding as not everyone try to use the drug because the extent of the harm of the drug dependence are so large. They not only affect the individual but also their families and their societies. Thus, it is necessary that the preventing, the controlling, and managing from the adverse consequences of drug use. It includes the primary prevention. Primary prevention means the preventing the people from use of the drug who are in the early stage, means they're starting to use the. Our target is to put the vulnerable groups such as the school children and the young people who have left the education. In this includes the warning them about the harmful drug dependence and thus promoting the health. It also includes the legalization in which they are informed that about the illegal nature of the drug. Secondly, prevention. In this, our aim is to discourage the drug users who are already taking the drugs, and as the most people using the drugs either to practice or enjoy the taste of the drug to avoid withdrawal effects of the drug, so they can be aware giving the substitute therapy and decreasing the dose to prevent the further use of the drug through the drug education. In this case, we are educating and awareing the society by providing the leaflets, booklets, videos, putting the posters on the walls, and the people who are dependent on the drug may also get benefit from the drug education if they are not fully informed. Through the drug education, arranging the different seminar and the walks aware of the people about the harmful effect of the drug dependent. Drug education may be provided by the range of the people like the teachers, young workers, medical students, medical and nursing staff, and the police officer. Social support, like it means the social support provided by psychologically motivation or treating the patient psychologically. It includes providing the practical advice and assistance, means the seeking the housing provision, hostel accommodation. There are many psychological tools they use for the psychologist counselor in the treatment or support of the drug use. Detoxification, it means the keeping the individual away from the drug use in which he is depending, thus providing the substitute therapy of that drug and stopping the gradually reducing the doses followed by the treatment withdrawal symptoms and giving substitute therapy opium dependent methadone, and by gradually decreasing the dose of it. Rehabilitation, it refers to providing the detoxification process followed by the social support, intense psychotherapy to facilitate the sustained change. Rehabilitation is usually provided in the therapeutic community where the treatment is going on for several months. Harm reduction, it describes the range of the intervention used to reduce the adverse consequences of drug dependence experienced by both the individual drug and the society. For example, prevention and the sterile injection equipment, providing the information to the drug injector to prevent then using the sharing the injectable equipment. It also include the providing of the substitute therapy either of at the adequate maintenance dose or as a detoxifying agent. Uh, Role of the community pharmacist and the hospital pharmacist prevention of drug dependency. Community pharmacist in the prevention of the drug dependence. The community pharmacist is the most important person to take care of the drug user by providing the following practices. Extended opening hours in the most community pharmacies are open even by part time of the weekend or at the evening time when the other special drug services are closed. Expert advice. The community pharmacist gives the access to the trained healthcare practitioner, giving the free advice, resulting in the people and their family receiving the substitute therapy of the drug dependent from the community pharmacist. And discretion. The community pharmacies provide the confidential services to the users, tend to see the pharmacies as separate from the other healthcare systems. Network of the services. Due to the widespread of the services, community pharmacists have the share the workload and develop a network of good practices which joined with the other trends. Pharmacists to develop the professional relationship. Then we have the patient satisfaction. The community pharmacist is the only person, healthcare professional, to which the drug users are mostly in contact. So the pharmacists are in position to give the advice or risk reduction information about the drug dependency. The trust of the pharmacist encourage the drug user to access the drug services, which result in the improving their health and the receiving the substitute therapy and bringing the job satisfaction. And the last most important services of the community pharmacist to prevent and reduce the harms of the needle, syringes or exchange practice. Hospital pharmacies. The hospital are the places which are giving the guidelines for the admission and the discharge of the drug dependent patient. So it is especially important in those cases when the drug dependent patients are admitted in general medical or surgical wards. The teams of the wards may not be so much aware about the misuse of the drug. The hospital pharmacists contribute to give the such guidelines like admission, during the admitting of the people, how to ensure the safe continuation use of the substitute drug when someone comes from the community for the secondary care. Then the attention should be paid on the use of the substitute drug. Example, methadone is actually controlled drug, but it is kept in a pharmacy for the substitute the opium drug users. That pharmacy give in the procedure to use the supply of the methadone. Discharge. During the discharging, how to ensure the safe continuation of the substitute drug on the discharge without doubling up the dose. The prescription for this, contact with the general practitioners and pharmacists, which important to ensure any change to the treatment in the hospital. The hospital pharmacists play a key role in the role for the advising for the substitute drug for the drug users. Many drug interaction can occur for the methadone at co-admission while the enzyme inhibiting or enzyme inducing drug. In that case, hospital pharmacists change the dose if necessary. So this is all for today, friends. Let's discuss the next topic in the next session. Thank you so much for today. Have a good day. Bye.